Food noise can get quieter on Ozempic, and that shift is real. For some people, the biggest change is not smaller portions or dramatic weight loss at first. It is that food stops interrupting the day, and meals stop feeling like a constant negotiation. The brain still notices food, but the pull can feel weaker, quieter, and much easier to step away from. That matters because cravings are not all the same. Some come from real hunger, others come from reward, habit, stress, or constant visual cues. When people say the drug changed their relationship with food, that is usually the difference they are feeling first. Ozempic, Semaglutide, does not work by giving people better morals. It changes signals between the gut and the brain. It can help the brain register fullness earlier, and it can make tempting food cues feel less loud. That is why food noise can drop before weight loss becomes dramatic. I'm Dr. Kim, a licensed physician. This is not medical advice. Consult your doctor. Part of this starts in the stomach. Food leaves the stomach more slowly, so fullness lasts longer. That lowers physical hunger, which already removes one major driver of cravings. A person who is not genuinely hungry at 4 p.m. is less likely to start chasing every snack queue in the room. But appetite is only one layer. The brain also decides what feels rewarding, urgent, and worth repeating. These drugs appear to soften that response to food cues, especially highly tempting foods. In plain English, the food is still there, but it may stop acting like a constant mental trigger. That quieter response can show up in small ways before people can easily describe it. The checkout candy suddenly feels easier to ignore. The late-night delivery app stops calling your name every evening. You still recognize the food as appealing, but it may lose some of its power to start a chain reaction. That is why hunger and food noise are not identical. Hunger is the body asking for fuel. Food noise is the mind getting pulled toward food over and over, even when fuel is not the main problem. Some people feel both drop together. Others notice the mental quiet first. This also explains why the same kitchen can feel different on the drug. The cookies, chips, or takeout menu did not suddenly become invisible. The reward pull may simply weaken enough that the cue stops running the show. More choice appears because the cue is less pushy. People often misread that change. They think cravings disappearing proves the drug is doing everything correctly, or they think any remaining craving means the drug failed. Neither conclusion is reliable. A quieter response helps, but it does not erase stress eating, old habits, or learned routines by itself. Another mistake is assuming that wanting a favorite food once in a while means the drug stopped helping. Some people still want a favorite food once in a while, but they no longer feel driven by it. That is not failure. The goal is not to become a person who never wants dessert again. The goal is to reduce the pressure and repetition behind the urge. Less food noise does not automatically mean better nutrition. Some people feel so little drive to eat that meals become late, tiny, or random. The brain feels calmer around food, while the body slowly starts falling behind on protein, fluids, and total intake. Sometimes lower cravings improve control, but sometimes they create undereating with a false sense of control. The real difference is not a noisy brain versus a quiet brain. It is real control versus appetite suppression that seems strong at first but does not hold up. Stable control means you can still eat normal meals without a fight. Suppression that falls apart means you are eating less only because food feels unpleasant, easy to forget, or hard to tolerate. So the better test is not total silence around food. It is whether the quieter signal still supports normal eating and daily function. You should still be able to eat a reasonable meal and meet protein needs. You should also drink enough fluid and get through the day without side effects running the show. One common place where this split becomes obvious is after a dose increase. A person may believe the stronger dose is working better because food sounds less interesting. But that signal is not clean when the same person starts skipping meals, avoiding protein, and feeling wiped out. Stronger appetite suppression is not always better control. That unstable pattern is more likely in some people than others. People who already skip breakfast, live on coffee, or eat very little protein have less room for missed meals and side effects. The same is true for people with strong nausea on earlier doses. They may mistake side effects for successful appetite control. When that higher risk pattern starts to cause problems, the warning signs are usually easy to spot. One is going most of the day with almost no real meal, then suddenly wanting sweets or large portions at night. Another is losing interest in protein, not just in junk food. Another is treating nausea as proof that the medicine is working perfectly. Watch for functional clues too. You feel weaker, dizzier, or more constipated. You are relying on coffee, crackers, or a few bites instead of meals. You can say food noise is lower, but your routine is getting narrower, not healthier. That usually means the benefit is being used badly. To apply that standard, ask whether you have more control without losing basic nutrition. If control rises while meals stay functional, that is usually a healthier pattern. If control rises only because eating has become unpleasant, that is a warning. In practice, regular structure helps protect that healthier pattern. Keep meal timing steady, prioritize protein first, then fiber and fluids. Do not let a quiet appetite turn the whole day into caffeine, a few bites, and wishful thinking. That pattern often creates the rebound people blame on the drug later. It also helps to identify the craving that remains. True hunger tends to build gradually and improves after a real meal. A craving triggered by routine, boredom, or stress usually starts suddenly and feels very specific. Once you notice that split, the quieter brain signal becomes easier to use well. Some remaining urges are not hunger at all. Some people also need a plan for the empty space they feel when food stops acting like a reward. When food stops acting like a reward, boredom and stress can feel more visible. The drug did not create those feelings. It simply stopped letting food cover them up as easily. That is why quieter cravings can feel helpful and strange at the same time. Overall, Ozempic can quiet food noise by lowering hunger and by making food triggers feel less powerful. That helps only if normal eating stays intact. Remember this, less noise is helpful when it creates choice, not when it turns eating into an afterthought. Medicine simplified. That's what this channel does. If you want more, hit subscribe. This is not medical advice. Consult your doctor.